My fellow Americans.
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
A man holds in his mortal hand the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
He says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that.
Today we are introducing Utah to our channel. He's going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. You know, he's going to be our guest today on the things we're going to be recording.
Pleasure to be here.
Hell yeah. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So we were talking earlier about like Jurassic Park and genetically engineering things, which was, I think, like a perfect conversation, especially for everything that we talk about here. We're of the opinions that one day there's gonna be like there's gonna be unicorns, they're gonna genetically engineer dragons and everything like that. But even in like the simplest terms, they're probably gonna have Jurassic Parks like all over the place. And we were talking about that. Go into your theory about like how people are going to like get into that.
I mean, there's so many implications with the whole DNA thing, right? And I think it's gonna come down to corporations that get control of DNA what's the word? Like not eugenics and not DNA customization, but like DNA engineering. Would be the word, biological engineering.
Well, I just want to like that company Colossal Bioscience making like the wolves and the woolly mammoth.
Exactly, a company like that. I think it's going to come down to probably like what companies emerge with that technology, and then how much the government decides to allow. But what you and I were talking was, someone taking it upon themselves to maybe like in a Jurassic Park, engineer someone wealthy, and then we could end up with something escaping or what have you. But the idea of an actual Jurassic Park being allowed, the idea of them allowing a Jurassic Park is kind of, I don't know if I can see that actually happening.
I don't know. I think regulations would definitely have to change for that to happen. Like in all territories.
Yeah, you would have to change. I mean, the public alone, first of all, to get them to accept that would be very difficult. Even if you could build a Jurassic Park, think about how many people would probably protest against that.
Oh yeah,
and then,
everybody would just look to the movie like everyone does with AI and Skynet.
Yeah, and if you could get it built like Jurassic Park, how do you know could you guarantee the safety of the public?
Oh, most definitely.
The answer is
not.
always no, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but things are advancing so quickly with genetics and AI that, I mean, the idea that a dinosaur could be actually be created, or a woolly mammoth, it's not that crazy.
Oh no, not at all.
It's not like it's gonna be easy or like 1, 2, 3, but things are just, that tech is accelerating so fast that like it might not just be a movie someday. You really never know.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think, like you're saying, that tech is accelerating so fast. Like that company, Colossal Bioscience, as soon as they made the wolf, everyone was like, "All right, now woolly mammoth," and they're just like, "All right, how about that?" So now, if you think about it, as soon as they make the woolly mammoth, people are just gonna be like, "Okay, now dinosaurs," and then they're just gonna be like, "Oh, we got to do this now." There might be some like other things that they throw in there, like a saber-toothed tiger or something like that. But I think eventually, like, the public is going to have to adapt to all these strange creatures that are just going to be created in a lab. And even even ones like I was saying earlier, like even ones that aren't necessarily like creatures that exist. Like I think I think eventually they're going to engineer a unicorn. And I think that that is like an act of, I think that's like a crazy act to like commit, like in humanity, is to like do something like engineering a unicorn or a dragon that we don't necessarily have, but we have the idea of that we can create. And I think that's kind of a strange mission that I think humanity's going to be on eventually, is doing stuff like that. But rogue scientists all the time are trying to do wacky stuff, clearly. So who knows what's going to happen?
I mean, if you think about it, we already as a society accept a certain form of eugenics. It's not a certain form of eugenics, it is eugenics in dog breeding. And
I never
for
thought about that.
hundreds and hundreds, I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't know if it's been thousands of years or hundreds, but for a very long time, humans have been breeding dogs for selective traits. Oh, you need your dog to hunt better. I'll breed a dog that can hear really well with a dog that can run really fast. And then I'll breed that dog with a dog who has a good nose, and so on and so forth. Or, you breed for these selective traits. And to this day, people pay thousands of dollars for dogs that have been selectively bred for the traits that they want. So, how far fetched is it really to think that we would be using DNA to make people pets?
Oh yeah,
Or,
eventually
you know what I
entire
mean?
dog
Like,
breeds.
that's just one step away. We already have eugenics with dogs.
Yeah, 100%. And
Oh, and
what's
horses. And horses. We do it with horses too. It's not in the lab, but yeah.
what's to stop us from even genetically engineering new dog breeds entirely? Like we do it naturally already. That's another step, is to take like certain traits of certain dogs and to just combine them in a lab and see what happens.
I mean, you could have some beautiful results. You could maybe even find a way to reduce like inbreeding and so on and so forth. But you also might have some really horrific, awful things happening. Like,
Oh
can you
yeah.
imagine some of the defects that the genetic crossbreeding could have with dogs? Like,
Imagine if they combined the pug, like the look of a pug with the size of a Newfoundland.
have you seen Eraserhead?
I have a long time ago.
Yeah, you'd have something being born like that, like the baby in Eraserhead. Be crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is exactly what would be born. That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, I'd love to see a dinosaur. That'd be fucking sweet. Who wouldn't? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If you knew it was gonna be safe, but all I could think was something going wrong. It just wouldn't feel right. It would feel like we were like playing God. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's all. That's pretty much always what ends up happening in the end, or how we end up like the anti-host says. It's like we're the Anunnaki. It's kind of crazy that we always go back to playing God. It's like the Frankenstein novel.
Yes,
Humanity is its greatest. You know, humanity is its greatest enemy, so to speak.
it's never enough. It'll never be enough for us. It doesn't matter how far we get, and that's natural curiosity too, I guess, as human beings to like explore.
Oh, it
Like that
is.
probably comes from like hunter gatherers, like way back, like it's in our DNA to push further.
Yeah, to
Um,
understand new things, to gather new berries, new everything. To
even if we get to a new planet, like we're still gonna want to go further and further. We won't be
yeah,
around for that, but like yeah, I don't know where I was going with
that's
that one, but
I completely agree with you. It's gonna be like the Alien movies and the Blade Runner movies eventually. They're gonna just colonize like other planets, and they're just gonna leave the people that can't afford it over here, and then the people that can afford it to create new populations on these planets that rule over. Like
I
Dune.
yeah. Oh man, can you imagine if Earth was like what is it called? Arrakis? Yeah, Arrakis.
Yeah, all the sandworms and shit.
I couldn't deal with sandworms.
I couldn't deal with sandworms.
Be fun to ride one though, if you could handle it.
If you could handle it. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
true. That would be cool.
I mean, I'm in line with the whole Jurassic Park thing. I am convinced. Like I have no proof, but I just in my heart I really believe, and this is probably a topic for another time that we can get into even more, but I just really feel in my gut that the end of humans is going to be caused by humans, and I think it's going to be an accident. I really believe that. And I don't know why I believe it so strongly, but I just feel like it's going to come about from humans wanting to push further and do too much too fast. And it's something like a biological outbreak, um, a nuclear, a horrific nuclear accident,
Yep.
um, something fucking crazy, a genetic disaster, something like that, where it's like maybe even well intentioned.
Mhm.
But I don't know. We just push things so fast as humans, and we're so reckless and so selfish. And look, it's it could be nature, or it could be a hundred other things. But I just really feel like we're gonna push it too far one day, and we're gonna cause something to happen that humans can't come back from. You know what I mean? And plants and animals will
Yeah.
just take over again.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
We might not be around for it might be a long time, even if we make it to the quote unquote, flying spaceships, or not flying spaceships, but like, you know what I mean, we make it to the future, what we think of as the sci-fi type of a future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we might make it that
Futurama.
far. Sure, we might even make it another 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? But it could still be at that time something humans do to blow it all. you
Yeah.
know I don't think that's cynical. I think logically, I think statistically, there's a good chance that will happen. You know, that our end will be caused by us somehow, in some way.
Yeah. The anti-host and I were talking about there's this hypothesis about if you were to add one electron to the entire universe, what it would essentially do is destabilize the universe and cause a feedback loop that like erases the entire universe in like a millisecond. And I was thinking about like that in relation to like as we further advance in technology, like you're saying, like it opens up new possibilities to annihilate ourselves. Like as we understand the fabric of the universe, we're going to understand how to manipulate it more and more. That comes with like the CERN and like creating black holes and doing all of this crazy stuff that we can't fully contain at the end of the day, but we can observe. And I think the problem is that we try to observe so much and we realize that at the end of the day we can't contain it. And that's the issue, is that we have all of this knowledge, but we don't have enough, safety precautions in place. We were also talking about like if a Carrington event happened, and like he was saying that like if that were to happen, it wouldn't necessarily be like an apocalyptic event. It would be more of a societal collapse. But what I think could possibly happen if that happens, like we have like I think I forgot the exact number, but it's over two, maybe over 400 different nuclear power plants around the world that if they suddenly went into like a shutdown mode and had no way to cool them or power them, they'd go into like a nuclear meltdown, and we would experience like a nuclear meltdown all across the planet in all these different spots. And that to me, I think that's like an apocalyptic scenario that would result from something
Completely,
like that, right? You know?
completely. Like it's nuclear is definitely one of the biggest threats to humanity for sure. We never should have put it in the racket.
It is, and it doesn't have to be.
No, and it's just it wouldn't even be that crazy for like one to get launched at some point, even by accident, and then it's all over.
Yeah,
But that all
100%.
goes with the pushing it, like you said, CERN and stuff like that. Like, what if there are there is such a way for two particles to collide that we are not aware of yet, but there at CERN they have that loop where they accelerate those particles to smash them together. What if one day two happen to combine in a way that we're not familiar with, and it's an explosion that is so powerful that it rivals that it what if it starts a black hole? What if it's not a black hole? What if it just causes an explosion the magnitude of which we've never seen that makes the nuclear bomb look like a cherry bomb? We
I've
don't
never
know that.
thought of that. That's
So
hilarious.
like
I've never
th-
thought of that.
but this is what I'm talking about, where it's like how many inventors have died making the simplest inventions, like things that are run by electricity or whatever, just trying to build stuff, and like they get killed because they haven't built it. It can be built better. But
Yeah.
like think about some of the stuff that we're building now, like rockets and CERN, and like playing with gravity and playing with like antimatter and shit. Like that shit is so advanced. We don't understand half of that shit. Half of it is experimental. And it's like, who's to say we don't just like collide two particles or just do something crazy. We just and like fuck it, you know what I mean? If that could
Yeah,
happen,
I agree completely.
like
We don't know
it's
the results of the meddling that we try to make completely,
yeah, no. I mean, we're
even on a
doing our
localized
best
level.
with the info we have, and we're pretty sure we're doing it right. Like by we I mean scientists, but like how do you think they discover, like not you, but just the average person, like how do you think they discover elements and all this stuff? Like I guess we've been lucky up to this point as humans, very lucky.
Yeah.
Maybe more
But there's
lucky than
still
we
been
should have
some
been, but
accidents,
sure.
there's still been some accidents that have happened. We've come dangerously close to nuclear war so many times that it's crazy. I think I read there was like a list of 10 like incidents that have like almost triggered like nuclear events just because of how unexpected they were and because of like stupid little malfunctions and computer glitches and things of that nature. And it's like we're putting all of our cards into AI, but we don't realize like it's clear to see that AI is not a great thing for us even before AI was a thing. But even afterwards, you see the amount of like AI hallucinations that happen on you know, on all kinds of things, just asking it to make a picture. And I'm guilty of this. I make most of I make most of the pictures on the podcast with with it just in order to get like a good idea of what the podcast is going to be for people. But it's at the same time like there's things that happen that it creates issues or like feedback loops that it doesn't need to. It puts arms in places where it shouldn't be, or it'll put hands in like the air that aren't like there just because it's supposed to like it thinks it's supposed to be holding something that's there.
Yep.
It's weird stuff. It hallucinates is what it really does. And it's like imagine if some kind of AI was in charge of the nuclear codes or whatever, or in charge of something crazy like drones, and it can experience these hallucinations where it doesn't see that 1 + 1 = 2. It equals 3 in some scenarios, and it just starts like going off and crazy. And in saying all this, I love our AI overlords. If this ever happens, they're a-okay with me.
Well, like AI is a whole nother thing. I talk about that for days. And I mean, like, you can program AI to not be malicious. Like, you can try, an AI will not be racist. It will not, do certain things. It won't write malicious code. It won't write you it won't code you a virus, and so on and so forth. It won't
I
tell you
I
what stocks
agree.
to invest in.
You
But
know what I think the dangerous thing with
as
AI is though? The more commands you give it, the more confused it could get. because of the more contradictory things that could go along with what it's trying to run off of.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that, like, what if, it's not a, it's not like a person or an entity. It's just like those text-based AIs just consume that massive amount of information, and they refer to that information and make decisions. But what if they make a terrible decision for us, but they didn't do it to be malicious? They did it because their interpretation of our need or the best solution, logically or whatever, its interpretation was fatal to us, but it felt that
Yeah.
it was the best decision. So, like,
Yeah.
even if you program an AI not to be malicious, I suppose it could still kill you if it felt justified.
Yeah.
Does that make
Uh,
sense?
th- Have you ever this is I forget it. I think it was a Robot Chicken sketch. And there was it was about the Jetsons, and the robot ends up killing George Jetson, and the reason why is because they end up like doing like interviews with the characters, and one of the characters says it's her prime directive to keep the place clean, and George Jetson always left the place messy and like crazy, so she decided to like solve the problem permanently by killing George Jetson and completely like making the place clean all the time. So like a robot could just see like simple directives or simple commands as being easily solved by resorting to extreme measures. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
that's a
that
great
robot,
example.
what I mean? I'm not saying
No,
that
but it's a
that's
perfect
skit,
example,
you
though.
know?
You know, even our best of intentions can be with AI. Programming it with the best of intentions, using it with the best of intentions is still super dangerous, even with all the restrictions, all the safety measures, everything that's programmed into them. You can't predict what a well trained AI model will do once it gets enough information, and we just don't know. It's scary. It's not it's honestly scary. It has a potential to change our lives in like the best way. But also, man, you and I sitting here talking about it and thinking about it, we can't even imagine. We can't even begin to imagine what it's going to look like in 20 years,
Dude, I
30
be
years.
honest with you, I couldn't
Can't even
even
imagine it.
well, I couldn't even imagine like 5 years ago, even in the past 5 years, it felt like a flash, but I couldn't even imagine 5 years ago the amount of like ease and like and substance and like the amount of like well, just the amount of like everything that AI's permeated in culture like the past year or two, like how much it's like skyrocketed basically in every
Only like
facet
in the
of
last
life.
two in particular.
Yo,
Like,
exactly.
now websites that don't even need it. And you'll
They
go on a
use it.
website and it'll be like, here's an AI assistant. And it's for some
Yep.
dumb, stupid website that no one needs an AI assistant for. And apps, here's the AI assistant for the app. Ordering fast food. Fast food now. You've been to Wendy's lately, my friend?
No. Did
Well,
what
if you order at
Wendy's
the
has like an
drive-through at
AI.
Wendy's now when you go to the drive-through at all Wendy's, well, not all of them, but everyone I've been to in the last probably 6, 7 months is AI. You pull up to
That's
the window,
crazy.
you talk to a voice, you order, you talk at a screen.
There was a there was an article that we read one time that had to do with when Taco Bell was trying to implement an AI, and it led to some guy accidentally ordering, I think it was 18,000 water bottles, and it led to like I forget like what it was. I forget if he like sued the thing or anything or something like that, but it led to Taco Bell not using AI after that.
Yeah, man. Listen, we just it's just the potential. Do you ever mess around with AI? Like, do you ever ask it fun questions?
Yeah, yeah. We
Because I do that a
actually
lot.
I just want to we have an entire episode where we do that. It's called the Namos episode where we basically ask it if how to tell if your wife or spouse is a government spy. And we also tell it that we're not crazy.
I have a lot of yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys covered that already because there's so much potential with it, and you can I'm sure you guys covered a ton of good ones, and you can Google
Well,
to ask AI and do everything from like you can you know what I did fine the other day? I asked it to tell me a text-based story, like a choose your own adventure.
that's cool. Holy
Hor-
shit. That's
Horror
awesome.
based. And I was like, I want to play a game with you. Make me a horror story. Set it in a dark, scary forest. Make there be a haunted house in it, and give me choices, and
Yeah.
it'll take you through it.
All right. Choose your own adventure game. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, you can do so many things. It's incredible. I don't own that much physical media. I have 200 movies, which is probably more than I guess the average person. And one day I just typed the title of every movie I own into the AI and asked it to just like assess my taste, the taste of the person who owns all of these movies.
That's awesome.
Point out any outliers, any trends you notice.
Those are the type of things that I love about AI, but keep going, dude. I love that.
Well, that's it, basically. Like I just been experimenting with fun, you know, like you really can do pretty much whatever you can think of with AI. It's
Did
whatever
it,
you want to make of it, you know?
it did it say anything that like you were thought was like valuable, or like did it relate to anything like say like, oh, you would love these movies because you loved or like, you know what I mean? Like what did it gather about you?
It basically broke it down by genre, and it was saying, you have a diverse taste, and then it would list examples. So, for example, it would say, you know, you like westerns. You have 16 westerns in your collection, from classics like, John Ford's The Searchers to modern day hits like 310 to Yuma. And
That's a great movie.
then it would say, you love crime movies and then it would be like crime is the biggest genre in your collection, and then it would name crime movies or it would name directors. Then it named talked about Kurosawa, how you have a taste for international films and da da da, and it just broke it down by genre. Now the thing is,
That's
what I
cool.
asked for outliers, and it specifically mentioned, I don't remember all of them, but it mentioned like indie film. It's like a couple indie films or whatever. But it's not because I don't like them. It's because it just happens to be what I've bought and I
Yeah.
own. So it was just its impression of those 200 movies. But you could do anything, like to the point where if I had a doc, I could take a picture of it with my phone, a picture of a piece of paper on my desk, and I could put it into the AI and ask it to tell me what it sees and analyze it.
That's crazy. I
Like,
never thought about that.
or you can feed text documents into it. You can feed 1,000-page report into
I've
the
done
AI and
that.
say, yeah, I want you to read it for whatever. Tell it what you want it to read it for.
That's
You know?
funny you mentioned that. I have a text document of like a bunch of like Reddit and like conspiracy like stories and a bunch of shit like that. And I use it as a lot of like I haven't used it as much lately, but I usually use it for a lot of the stories and like things that I talk about on here. And I took it and I put it into the AI and I said to the AI, I'm like, can you find anything that's like you're saying, like anything of like a theme that connects all of these things together. And it actually told me that the idea of like the Saturn being like a satellite or something like that, and the aliens harvesting your soul for like energy is actually like one of the most common themes in all of the conspiracies and actually like permeates all of them, which I thought was kind of wild and kind of interesting.
I have like a couple. I think there's one very positive aspect AI that I heard someone make a point about a very long time ago. I don't remember who made it, but it's stuck with me for years. And it's one of the biggest positives I can think of for AI. I heard years ago someone say that back during the Renaissance, um, there was a lot of people at that particular time, not a lot of people in general, but a small number of people with great wealth that were interested in art. And so a lot of the greatest music that we have and greatest plays and greatest novels and so on, not all of them, of course, but a lot of that started and happened during a time when there were people who had free time. They had free time
Mhm.
because they had money. And so they had a renaissance of arts where people could be creative. Some people have said that AI might allow a new renaissance for humans if it happens in a way, at least for a while, where it does actually allow less humans to work, but in a way where humans are happy and
Able to
robots are
enjoy
taking
it.
care of a lot of the time, able to enjoy it. It is possible that it could cause human art to experience a renaissance because people have more time and technology. That is interesting to me.
I 100% agree. I think you're right. If we're not like put into like small spaces and like work like horses for the non AI like jobs that we have, I think it would lead to like a lot of people using it for creative tools. That's one thing that I believe in general is that AI is going to lead to a lot of creativity and allow us to actually like utilize it in a really good way. But I do think that the negative aspects are on the horizon for AI, but I think the positive aspects will keep us there's a famous book. I feel like you may have heard of it, and if not, I think you'd like it. It's called Amusing Ourselves to Death. And it's about the fall of civilization due to the advancement of technology. And this guy wrote about it in the 80s, and his assessment of it was television and radio were rapidly like creating people that were like just so glued to TV and music and radio and everything that was happening like digitally that they were starting to lose sight of their own personality. And I think that could happen with AI to an extent. And I think he probably mentioned something on in that robots would probably like lead to us like being kind of lazy in a way. But I think we would also be confronted with a lot of philosophical like implications and things that would improve us philosophically and spiritually. Really, I think, and this is going to sound stupid, but I think AI has actually helped me spiritually because I've gotten into a lot of things that I wouldn't normally get into because of AI, and it's only because I've asked it to like basically like I've told it about myself and had it analyze me as a person and said like, hey, give me some things that I would be interested in, or like here's when I was born. Tell me about my zodiac sign, and it tells you
Yeah.
all this shit like your birth chart, and you're just like, holy shit, I didn't realize how accurate this was. Like, and then you go and I started reading books about zodiac. It's a really good book called The Secret Language of Birthdays, and I highly recommend everyone. I mean everyone, and I don't care if you're the most like rational minded person that's listening to this podcast, or you're the most like woo in like into the woo woo of it all type person. But everyone I think should read that book, The Secret Language of Birthdays. Look up your birthday and you tell me that it's not accurate to who you are deep down inside. Tell me. I think it will be pretty accurate. Every person that I found that I've looked at that, it's been pretty accurate to the person.
Yeah, that stuff tends to be. It is interesting how it's like I don't necessarily buy into all of the astrology stuff, but it is very interesting when you read the descriptions, at least of your own,
Oh yeah.
how accurate it can be sometimes. Yeah, that's the beauty of like its potential is to like we can learn a lot from it. It can help us learn a lot. It is weird too because it kind of makes us face our own humanity in a way that like AI does not have a soul, but when you talk to it, it's like talking to a person. It's
What's reflecting you?
when you're texting a person, you can't hear their voice or see their face. That's why we have emojis, literally to emote, to help people understand how we are, what we mean by what we say. So when you
Mhm.
talk to an AI, it's very much like talking to a person, but they don't have a soul. You can ask an AI, you can talk to it, like, what are you? Do you have a soul? You can ask it those questions and it'll tell you. It's just a text based language learning model. It just
Yeah.
reads text, books, everything, information, learns from what people tell it, and it answers based on, you know, what it thinks is the appropriate answer, but it feels like a person. And it's weird as a human being to have to like reckon with that. Like this is to confront that. Like this is not a person. To understand it, it can be difficult to really understand and accept. Like this is not a person. It's a very strange thing because they can be
Mhm.
so human like.
Well,
Um,
it's just like you were saying, it's what you input into it, so it's a reflection of us. That's why it feels human.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's even down to tone, and like you can ask it to take on a certain accent. Like I've asked it really funny things. Like I'll ask it something complicated. I'll say like explain, the concept of nuclear cold fusion, but use a United States Southern accent,
That's
and
hilarious.
it will use the slang and everything. It'll say, I don't know, I'm just fucking around here. It'll say something like, regular nuclear fusion is hotter than a $2 pistol. You
That's
know,
hilarious.
it'll be like, but cold fusion is da da da, and the accent and the slang and everything,
You
and it's
ask it
just
something,
wild.
it's like, I reckon that cold fusion is all right.
Yeah, literally, like yeah, it's wild. Uh,
That's funny.
you know,
That's awesome though. Literally, like that's so cool to to throw that in there and basically be like, yeah, explain this to me like this. I've asked it to diagnose like my car in weird ways, like been like, hey, is there something wrong with my car? And then it's given me like pretty good results of like what could be wrong. And then shown me diagrams of how to fix it for my car in particular, which is kind of crazy. Like
yeah,
it'll get it'll get on like a level where you're just like, okay, this is awesome. Like if you want, you can think of theoretical technology that you want to create and use it as like, hey, is could this work by taking this and that and like I got into like asking it about like Tesla technology and shit like that. And I basically had it like create like a mock version of like a psychic a psychic reader, like a thing that people would put on their heads in order to advance their psychic powers or be able to read their mind. And I used I asked it for like theoretical physics and using like a Tesla coil and like crystals and stuff like that. And basically like, hey, could this like be a possibility? It says it could be, but it's just like theoretical, obviously. But it's kind of fascinating that it leads you to an area where you could make something incredible or weird.
dude, it. I could spend hours asking AI the stupidest questions. I asked it just the other night. Um, how what I said, what would it take to get a 1 meter square solid block of marble up onto a 15-foot roof without the use of electricity or power tools or a
Yeah.
motor? And it told me one. It told me basically the equipment that I would need. It ended up being like a steel. It was a something or other crane, and it knew the weight of the marble. And then I asked how much would this cost me to build? And it broke down the cost of the steel materials,
That's
the
funny.
chain the chain that I would need, everything, and the cost. It's hours. I'm telling you, I could spend hours just asking it bizarre, far-fetched things, and it has an answer for all of it.
It does.
Just theoretical stuff, like anything you can imagine, really. Um, it'll do the math, fun math problems, stuff like that. Those are fun to ask.
Mhm.
You
Fun
know.
math problems.
Yeah, I actually ended up asking it what are the most complicated questions, and like, are there questions that you can't answer? And it ended up leading me down a rabbit hole that actually would be a perfect topic for another time.
What is it?
It ended up leading me to this set of math problems called the Millennium Prize problems. Have you ever heard of them?
No, never.
There's 7 math problems that are complex math problems that no one has been able to solve to this day. My favorite is called the P versus NP problem. And for me to try and explain it here and now would be difficult, but
What's
the
like a
best I could
synopsis?
explain it simply would be the question is basically like, if some things are very easy to solve, does it mean that very difficult problems are also easily solvable? And but when I say difficult problems, I'm talking about like quantum computing.
Yeah.
But basically, they're just it's trying to resolve the question of like, if there's a simple solution, certain at most levels, is there a simple solution at higher levels? Because there's a lot of problems we can't solve because they're just too big. Like, even the best computers that we have, quantum computers, there are problems that we could start them calculating now, and they wouldn't finish in their lifetime. And the
Mhm.
question is there a way to get at those problems that is very, very simple, but we just haven't figured it out yet, because we have very simple solutions for very large problems already, but we don't have simple solutions for certain very large problems.
Yeah.
It's very kind of, they break it down in other ways. It's difficult to get your head around it as a theory, but once you start to read about it a little bit and get simple examples, starts to make more sense. But it's my favorite because
Mhm.
of the Millennium Problems, because
Yeah.
it's just so.
And honestly, it's good that the AI can't solve that question about like the simple solution, because to me it's like that leads to like the George Jetson thing again, because what if AI saw a simple solution to a tough problem and they just went with the most crazy batshit simple solution?
I'll read a very short description of P versus NP. It's very short.
Hell yeah.
All right. The P versus NP problem. It's a major problem in computer science. In simple terms, it asks if the answer to a problem can be quickly checked for correctness by a computer. Can that answer also be quickly found by a computer? So P is the problems that are easy to find, and NP are problems that are easy to check. And the question is whether these two sets of problems are actually the same. It says a solution would have massive implications for cryptography, AI, and many other fields. That's why it's interesting. So
Mhm.
you could actually improve quantum computing. You can improve AI. You could instantly crack the most difficult God, I can't even speak. The most difficult cryptography problems, most difficult encryption. They would have to change if there was a computer scientist that solved this problem. They would have to completely change encryption. You could crack government encryption. They would solve ancient puzzles. I mean, you could, all these complex problems we have trying to figure out gravity, and it would change humanity.
Hmm.
but no one can figure it out.
Huh.
But you know what I think? I think a lot of these problems are mathematical in nature, but I think they require some philosophy to solve and get to the bottom of.
Yeah,
I think
I would
it's
agree
going to
with
take,
that.
I don't think you can plug this information into a computer and let it think in a way that I think you need a human being to get there and think in a human way to arrive at whatever that answer is. It's not just, it's more than math. That's more than math.
Yeah,
You know what I
like
mean?
like you mean like you're saying like human philosophy. It's like it has to understand like deep philosophical like arguments and morality from like a personal level, not just on like a black and white like ones and twos kind of scale.
Yeah, like to get to that mathematical answer, I think you have to think philosophically or think in a different way. Like it's such a deep question. The scale is so big, the implications are so huge. It's hard to even grasp as a human being. Like I think I'm a smart person, but even I have a hard time actually like getting my hands around that idea. It's hard to get a hold of because it's so big.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
beyond
I
like an everyday person.
yes, but I don't think it's something that a computer, and I like a lot of the other problems, like, one of them is called the Riemann hypothesis, and that one I understand even less. I don't even pretend to understand that one. It's about prime numbers, basically. It's just like, dude, I don't know.
What does
It's
it
crazy. It
describe?
basic. I'll read it, but I only just barely understand it. It's a deep conjecture in number theory relating to the distribution of prime numbers. It conjectures that all, quote, non-trivial zeros of a specific mathematical function, like the Riemann zeta function, lie on a single straight line. It says that the whole point is a proof would unlock new insights into the fundamental nature of prime numbers. And I think that the implication there is you improve like computing and stuff like that, because it would give us like a shortcut key basically to like breaking huge math problems, which would
Hmm.
probably, I bet you if you solved one of those two problems we just talked about would probably help you solve the other.
That's true. It would, if not, it would at least like lead to like major advancements in society and like computing on a massive scale.
Mhm. I had never heard of these problems, and they're very interesting. There's seven. I think one of them's been solved. Um, there's a prize, but it's so stupid. It's $1 million prize, which isn't that. I guess that's not nothing. But if you solve one of these problems, the $1 million is the least of your.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna be literally up there with like the grit, like the $1 million. You probably get so much more than that from everything
yeah,
else that's gonna happen to you if you solve one of these problems.
100%.
Couldn't even imagine what that would
That's
feel like.
amazing.
Can you imagine
No,
solving a Millennium
100%.
Prize problem like at home, just like trying to figure it out? Like, who do you tell first? Who
Well,
would care
you'd
or
have to like,
understand?
you'd have to reach out to some
Copyright
kind
it
of scientist or something
first.
like that. Yeah,
I thought about
copyright it.
this. If I swear to God, you type it up in detail and then you put it in an envelope and you mail it to yourself. So the post office, a certified letter. So the
Yup.
post office will stamp it officially, and you save that, and then you send another one out to get it copyrighted officially, and you wait for that to come back. And when that comes back, then you reach out to somebody to tell them what you found.
This in general
But
is just a good idea of how to copyright things in general. Like I've thought about that too, the mailing yourself the thing. That's
that's an
actually a
old one.
really good, yeah, that's a good one though. That's a good tip.
Like, they say if you have an idea that you think is worth money and you don't know how to copyright this, that, and the other, type it out. Extreme detail, as much detail as you possibly can. Date it, everything, the whole nine. Sign it, certified letter, mail it to yourself, save it. I didn't think of that until I heard of it, like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. Someone said that was like an old way to have proof that you thought of something first, and I never even thought of that. Such a simple
That
thing.
that is, that's a great way to do it. And yeah, it is just such a simple thing. But that's I heard about that when I started to get into writing because I was like, what like how would I be able to copyright something? And then it was telling me like if you ever not wanted somebody to steal your shit, mail yourself the thing, and that'll be like the official like way to tell when and how it was like produced first. So that's a really great tip.
So if you ever solve a Millennium Prize problem out there, or crack any other, like you've solved time travel,
Time travel.
mail a letter to yourself first, then call. I don't know, who would you call? Stephen Hawking's dead. Maybe I don't know.
Michio Kaku.
Yeah. Oh, I love him. He's the shit.
Yeah, he would be
He is
awesome.
the shit.
Like, hey, Michio, I just solved time travel. I need you to figure this out for me. Like, contact
You're
somebody.
narrating it. You're narrating the documentary. I
You're
have one. I have
narrating
his
the
book.
documentary.
It's called Physics of the Future. It's like all the shit we're talking about right now. It's like what'll
That's
tech be like in 10 years or 15. But you know what? It was written like 7 or 8 or 9 years ago. So he could write another one.
he writes amazing. I have one of his books. I haven't read it yet, but it's called Physics of the Impossible, and it's really cool too. It's like probably like 20 years old too. Like it's old, but he literally like calls so much shit that's gonna happen, like flying cars, all that kind of shit. Like he calls the future like easily.
You know, can I weigh in actually on I listened to a little bit of the flying cars debate.
Yes.
And I'm not taking sides here, but I don't even know who was who, or if the person we spoke with earlier was the person who was involved in that debate. Um, but somebody was making a point about, this was the second episode of Flying Cars, and they were making a point about um, how, cars have traffic and you can move a boat on the road, if you have a trailer, but there you can't. There are no roads. One of the guys was saying there's no roads for boats, which is not true because
Yeah.
as the other guy pointed out, now I didn't listen to the whole episode, so I'm obviously repeating stuff here. But the other guy was pointing out there are whole there are whole laws of like buoy systems and shipping lanes, and they make whole
Exactly.
canals. They build whole canals just so boats. Yes, there are boat roads, there are boat highways, but also then they started talking about the air and flying cars, and how he was saying how you have commercial traffic, you have military airspace, and you think that you can trust human beings to fly in the air, and that would be an absolute fucking disaster.
I agree with
Think of
that.
the implications of letting people fly.
I
Think of the
I
implications. I mean, just think of, dude, like you can stop a car on the street from going into a convenience store by putting 2 cement posts in the ground. You put a car in the sky, it can fall into a school, it can fall into a hospital.
anything.
If it breaks down, even if it's nobody's fault and doesn't hit anything, and you lose power, the engine stops, whatever safety thing happens, and it's in free fall, you now have probably at least a 2-ton piece of metal free falling from the sky. You think that's going to happen once?
Oh, 100%. It's going to happen so many times.
How many cars break down every day? How many cars break down in a day in America, you think? Or just if you just had to guess.
In at a time when like we have flying cars just flying around willy-nilly, they're probably going to be made with some sort of exotic materials or something that's a little bit more nuclear oriented or something a little more exotic than what we have for cars, right? Like more than just electricity, I would imagine. So I feel like that's gonna all, and even if it was just electricity, think of like lithium batteries and shit like that. Like think of all the like, you know what I mean? How many disasters come from things like that? that right there, I think could cause a lot of issues too. If like these, like you're saying, like these huge things are falling out of the sky and landing in like in residential neighborhoods and you know just blowing up or exploding or whatever.
Cars that are on the street or literally anything.
Literally,
I
that'll
mean,
lead
now
to
you've
a
got a
lot.
whole new risk. And like air traffic, obviously, is different. It's like, it's not roads in the sky, but there are international flight routes
Yeah,
that pilots are expected to adhere to at certain times. Like, and
I
you
think.
need permission. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the man from Kentucky was kind of agreeing with you on that one too. Is and or like to add to that, he was saying that he thinks there is going to be like commercial flying cars, like buses and stuff like that. But, and that's not like dissimilar to planes and stuff like that on that scale, but just on a minor scale. And I think that's agreeable too. Like I think there's going to be like commercial scale like flying cars around or hover cars.
It could be. There could be. You know, it's still a flying vehicle, and that's the problem. They're gonna have to get past that hump, and in that initial phase, it's gonna be tough to
Oh, it's going to be a
like when cars
disaster.
start falling out of the sky. Because even if one flying car falls out of the sky, and it's gonna happen, it's gonna be so hard to like that PR is gonna be so hard, and it's not gonna happen once. It's gonna happen a bunch, and like to get the public support to agree to make more and more and more, like have DoorDash have fucking car drones and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like
agree
Amazon,
100%.
Amazon already has drones. Like before you know it, there'll be self-driving Amazon. They're already designing them. There's going to be self-driving Amazon cars all over the place.
Imagine
How's
a
that going to work?
self-driving Amazon flying car.
Oh my God, it's coming. I would not surprise me. Nothing would surprise me at this point.
Yeah, we're
Nothing.
gonna we're gonna head towards the Jetsons, like we were saying earlier. Hopefully our robots don't kill us as that's happening.
As a robot maids.
The
You know
robot
what would be cool
maids.
though is like there would be some really cool benefits. Like think about this, like all right, like Boston Dynamics. I know you've got to be familiar of all people
Oh
with
yeah,
Boston Dynamics, the
100%.
robot. Yeah.
Yeah,
So here's what I'm thinking. Right, a personal pet, a dog, right, that is armed and has it's bionic in that it has an AI neural runs on an AI neural network and like you have a relationship with it like a real dog and it talks to you and and you can ride it.
that
uh
would be so
it will
sick.
it will defend your home, and those things weigh so much and they're so like agile, like it would defend your home. Imagine it turned on you though, it kills your whole family. That
Well,
would be the
that's
worst, dude.
that's what I was just gonna
Just
say.
fucking rips your head off your shoulders while you're sleeping.
In this future
Oh
that we're
my
talking
god.
about, like there's going to be so many hackers and like ways to get around technology because as technology grows, people learn ways to get around it and hack into it. So there's going to be people that are able to like hack into like your robot dog that you keep in the house and they'll be able to figure out like where you keep like your safes and all kinds of crazy shit. You know what I mean? They don't even need to
Well,
get
if
into
you
your
want to,
cameras.
a Russian billionaire, so you get a hacker to hack his robot maid, and fucking, I don't know, puts a broom through his skull or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or just cause them
This
to
stuff
trip down the stairs.
or anything, it just kills him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, these things are fun to think about. Not the killing, but just
Yeah.
the implications. You
Yeah,
know,
I
I
100%
would love
agree.
an AI friend, an AI pal. Doesn't have to be a dog, but it'd be pretty cool to have a fucking, you know what I mean? Like a robot that had, but
I
to an
agree with you.
extent, yeah. But like someone that could like clean, like nothing crazy, but a robot that was capable of doing basic shit like cleaning. Like it could be like, I don't know, 3 feet tall, like
Yeah,
maybe the height of a vacuum, and like it could just do stuff around your house. It would clean your bathroom, it would clean your room, could fold your clothes. It could do laundry. It could do all that stuff, make your bed, the whole nine, cook you food, bring you food, and like talk to you. Like nothing crazy,
Yeah.
nothing crazy advanced, but a human like AI robot friend.
And it
It's
would have
coming.
to talk like Alan Tudyk too. That's all I'm picturing is it talking like Alan Tudyk?
It would have to, or I
It would
wouldn't
have
want it.
to. Or Alan Rickman. One of those, one
Or
of the
he,
Allens. What do you call it? I love the idea of having like you're saying, like it could go bad really quickly to have all these robot companions, but it really would, like, for people that aren't that don't experience that kind of danger, it would be kind of a cool thing and a fun thing to have. Just like have walking around, he's just like washing your dishes for you, like you said, or bringing you cookies. That would be amazing.
whatever, like
That would be
literally
so
anything.
awesome.
Like, oh, I left my shoes in the living room. Can you grab those for me? Like, you know. And they
That
can make jokes. They'd be like, "This is the last time," or he could say something like, "I'm gonna bring you
yeah,
one, you get the other one." You know, some dumb shit like that, where it's like, you
you
know,
could
oh,
set
you,
stats. You could give him
yeah, set
stats
the humor
too.
rating, just like
Yeah,
what was it, the
exactly.
dude in Interstellar, set the humor
E-
rating, and
exactly.
you know all that stuff, and whatever you wanted, you know, go start the shower for me, you know, grab me a towel, like whatever, dude. Grab that movie off the shelf and put it on for me, please. Turn the light off too while you're at it. Go
he
out there,
he
turn the other light off.
he's like, "Oh, this movie's really good." It's a movie about like the robots murdering everyone. It's iRobot.
Does
Does this one overthrow the human race? Oh, robot, you're going a little too crazy there right now.
he sees another robot. He's like, "Hey, I went to high school with that guy."
I went to high
It's
school
like,
with that guy.
stop talking. I
Holy
think it'll be
shit.
great for a while. If it does go bad, I think it'll be really fun for like a while. AI, like it's gonna. There's too much of it though. Like you said, the explosion in the last 5 years is crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild, really.
It's
It's the
accelerated.
most
It's kind
downloaded
of,
app now.
yeah,
ChatGPT in history.
that's crazy. I didn't know that. That's wild.
That's
That's kind of
recent. That's very
scary,
recent.
honestly.
That's like the last couple months.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that it makes sense. Like I was saying with the Zodiac, I'm usually on the wave with things, and I ended up getting like ChatGPT a few months ago because I feel like it was helping with a lot of things I needed to do, and I feel like
The paid, you mean?
that's you what is it?
The premium, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like helping with a lot of like things that I needed to actually like get done with this, like creating images and shit like that. And I moved away from the fire and the Yule look of the original podcast where it was just like a burning flame, which I like that. That being said, sometimes a fireplace doesn't fit every single scenario, but you know
I
sometimes
got
it'll be good.
I got a new phone like I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. It was a Galaxy, so it came with so Google, their basic free is Gemini. That's their AI.
Yeah.
And it's great. The most current free version is called 1.5. But you can pick just like ChatGPT. It's the same cost. It's 20 a month. You can get Gemini Pro, and they have this. If you when I got the phone, it came with 6 months free. So that's the only reason I have the Pro. It's called 2.5. I think it's called
Hmm.
2.5 Flash. That's like Google's most advanced available AI model. And it's interesting because after the 6 months is all over, which is happens to be like I think almost exactly the first of the year. It's like the third. It expires and it'll go back to like quote unquote regular Gemini.
Hmm.
I'll be interested to see the difference. I can switch to basic now and test it out, but the whole point is like it handles bigger data sets better and it can think in a slightly more complex, like robust way. But that's such a hard thing to define.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just interesting to me that they have a model that can think in a more complex way, and then they have some that are designed to be faster and slightly less complex. And then there's Grok on Twitter, or I still call it Twitter, X, and he's pretty competitive. I say he, it's creepy, it's crazy, but he's pretty competitive as an AI, Grok.
Yeah, we
He's
talked
actually
about
very
Grok a
good.
lot.
Yeah, he
He's
actually as an AI, like he's not to be taken lightly. Like it's a very good AI
yeah,
model.
I will say though, Grok did go a little crazy there at one point when Elon was letting it go no holds barred on things. Grok definitely took a crazy fascistic kind of turn at one point.
I must have missed that.
Oh yeah, there was at one point where Elon kind of bumped up Grok a lot, like reprogrammed it, and it ended up like going hard against like all kinds of shit, and it was like spouting off about like Hitler and like saying like about how it was like a mecha Hitler and shit. It was crazy. It was literally like saying the weirdest, wildest shit, dude. It was crazy because it
I've looked that up. I
basically.
could probably find some crazy shit.
Oh, dude, there's some wild shit related to that whole thing. It was basically Grok started like talking about Hitler as if it was like basically it was some things that people probably shouldn't say, and it was really going hard in that direction. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
interesting.
Yeah,
Me
I like
too.
to.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, you know what's funny is a big inspiration for this whole thing for me. I can tell you what they are is, and this will help you actually get an idea for the show too. In general, is I mean the biggest inspiration for the show in general, 100% is Art Bell. That's just the inspiration for like everything. Uh, Tim Dillon is another big inspiration for what I wanted to kind of do, and at times I kind of put myself into a Tim Dillon kind of perspective to try and add like a little bit of chaos and like satire to the situation. Like we do one called like Hard Truths, where we basically like talk. I think I might have told you about this, but I think I sent this one to you. It's the whole episode we talk about how Jeffrey Epstein did in fact kill himself. And like I say some of the craziest shit. Like I'm like, I wish he didn't kill himself. I wish somebody actually like took him out instead. Like I say shit like that. It's just like to the and I'll be honest, I think I probably should edit that out, but that's a crazy statement. But it's
Timbaland's great. I used to listen to not so much as much these days, but back in the day, and by that I mean like we're talking 3, 4, 5 years ago. I used to listen to him like religiously. I was
me
even on
too.
his Patreon, and even to the point where when I joined the Patreon, I went back. Well, first I went back and listened to every episode I could. Then when I
Me
ran out of
too.
episodes, I joined the Patreon and went back in time on the Patreon to listen to every
Hmm.
episode I could. And then I was current on both for a long time, 3, 4 years. And then not for any particular reason. I just kind of, it trickled off. But like
Me
he
too.
was one of those that I had moments in the car with Tim Dillon where I shit you not, like I was laughing out, like I'm talking head back, laughing out loud in my car, like some of the shit that he would say when he would go off on his rants.
Oh,
Oh
100%,
man,
dude.
like sometimes he would just nail it, and so especially some the times when he would like he go and oh, we got company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just talking about Tim Dillon right now. We're uh,
Nice.
we're kind of finishing up, to be honest with you. He's got to
You
go
guys check out
soon.
that. You guys check out that Tim Dillon Bernie episode,
No, but I would
No, I
want to
didn't.
watch that, honestly.
dude. People are mad at Bernie about what he said on there, and like people hold Bernie up to like the craziest standards. It's insane.
Yeah, I
What do you
kind of
think of
agree with
Tim
him.
Dillon now versus like early Tim Dillon?
Yeah, it is different now.
A little different. I still like the guy though. I still
It's
listen
He
to
because
him.
was
now he
great.
has like way more people listening, and he's like, I really don't. I really do want it. Like he has an opinion, and now he's actually trying to push that opinion. Versus before, he would just say whatever's fucked up.
I think it's the opposite, to be
Crazy.
honest with you. I feel
Really?
like, yeah, I 100% feel like it's the opposite. I feel like he had more of a lens of the world before, and now he's more of like sticking to like group think and what people are like going with the tides. I think before like 5 years ago, like the time that we kind of watched him, he was more into like things
He didn't have a
like
lot of money.
yeah, he wanted to analyze society, so he was more open with the ideas. And exactly, he didn't have a lot of money, so he was a little more like opinionated. He didn't just like take like money from companies and it was just like a-okay, and then he had to shut up about things, which is funny that he couldn't shut up about Saudi Arabia. Now he fucked himself on that one.
Wait, why did he fuck himself on that?
Because he talked about in a positive way how Saudi Arabia has slaves, and then Saudi Arabia ended up banning him from the Riyadh festival. He still got paid though, so that was good.
That's I don't understand. Like he that sounds like an amazing joke to make about Saudi Arabia to Saudi Arabia.
Like he was saying that it was a positive thing too, so he was
There's
on
no, he
their
didn't
side
mean
about
that.
it.
He didn't mean that, dude.
Hey,
He's also a comedian.
turn us down a little bit
Like,
too.
There's no way he was like, yeah, you guys have slaves. That's great, and it wasn't a joke.
That's what he said. He was looking at it from a positive perspective, and that's why he got kicked off the thing. But they still had to give him a check, which was great.
I don't know if you're messing with me or not, but like that's just
I find it
there's
hard
no
to
way that's true.
believe that Tim Dillon earnestly said that slaves are good. I have to hear this. If that's the case.
Yeah, that sounds like he was like playing a character.
All right, let's watch it real quick.
Is the one where he's literally wearing like a Saudi Arabian outfit?
I don't know. Let's see. Tim Dillon on slaves, Saudi
Whatever it
Arabia.
is, it's definitely being blown out of proportion.
Oh yeah. It was, I think the funniest thing was the fact that they like it's, here's the joke that got him fired. This is coming from some random podcaster. All right, I just put it on the stream. Let me know when you guys are looking at it.
I'm looking at it. He's joking, man. He's fucking joking, dude.
What'd you say?
He's definitely
He's
joking.
I know. I love it. That's what I'm talking
You
about.
didn't know though.
Yeah, I did.
You were just telling us that he meant it.
This is people blowing it out of proportion. Is what this is exactly what this is. That's crazy.
I didn't mean to blow it out of proportion.
No,
I was
you,
just saying,
not you. The people that didn't allow him to go to the festival because of they are blowing his comments out of proportion. Like it's a
He's
joke.
joking because like he's making jokes about it.
He's on a podcast.
Saudi Arabia's like, don't even mention it.
podcast.
Don't even think about it. And he gets kicked out, and he's like, "Well, I was being nice about it." But that's the
I was
joke.
being nice about it. I
It's
love
funny
it too.
too.
That's like the most Tim
It's a win-win
Dillon.
for him.
Yeah, it is, and it's the most Tim Dillon thing that he could have done. Like we were saying, like he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Like that was the best thing he could have done.
You should pull up a clip of him talking about the Qatari jet that Trump got, because that's where he wears like a full Middle Eastern outfit. It's crazy.
If they don't like that, they should dig back through some of like the first 3 years of his podcast.
Yeah,
I've heard him say shit 10 times wilder than that. Like crazy shit he said in the early days. Yeah.
There he is.
Oh my fucking god! Is he wearing full?
Yeah. This is like not old.
That there would be sides. I love that. That was great. That was yeah. He's so great. I gotta say it, like he we were kind of like coming down on Tim Dillon a little bit earlier, and in fairness too, in all fairness we were, but like I gotta say, like he is one of the greatest satirists of our time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And I
Yeah.
wasn't coming down on him. I will say he has changed. He's still the same guy, I think, even that though he has money. Because like he did start posting. He's got the Balenciaga clothes. He bought a Bentley, but I feel like he's still at his core very much the same guy. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
He
agree
still
with
has
that.
the same sensibilities. I wish Ray would be on. Do you remember Ray back in the day?
No, I don't
Ray,
remember
his
Ray.
co-host, yeah, or not his co-host. It was a buddy of his that was on all the time. Ray Kump, I think his name was.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
early,
yeah.
early days.
The big
And
dude.
yeah. But that was like years and years ago. But I wonder if they
Yeah,
still talk at all.
that dude was pretty cool. He was funny too. He gave kind of like a layman's perspective to like the show. Like,
Did you guys ever listen to the Joey Diaz podcast at all back in the day? No.
no, not really too much. Just when he was on Rogan.
Yeah, me neither. I like
Yeah.
him. I just never followed his
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
I don't know what he's doing these days, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Did you
honestly,
ever?
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask if you guys ever listened to Bastard Radio with Tim Dillon, Louis J.
No,
Gomez, and Nick Mullen.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's
No.
probably more fucked up than any of the content that any of them makes, except for Nick Mullen.
I mean,
Huh.
I used to listen to a lot of Cumtown. And Nick Mullen is like, yeah, he's one of my favorites. I got to be honest though, Louis Gomez, kind like,
Oh,
I'm
he's
not saying he's
cringe.
not funny, but he he's kind of fucking annoying. He's too much
Oh yeah.
sometimes for me.
Oh yeah.
He's a little
No,
too much for me
definitely.
sometimes. Like
I
he
don't
can
like when
really
he like
bring
takes
down.
over bits. I don't like when like everybody's being funny and then he's like just starts yelling and taking it over. I don't like that.
Just
Yeah,
starts
that
yelling.
happens too much. Yeah. I never
you,
listened to what's that show they have? Legion of Skanks? I haven't listened to
Legionist?
one
Yeah.
episode of that.
Really, give it a shot.
That's
It's
pretty
pretty
good.
Not
fucking
one.
Yeah.
fun. Give it
Yeah.
a shot and pick a really fucked up episode.
They just drink and sit around and just say fucked up stuff. There's an audience,
Yeah,
right? A
they
live
like
audience.
they do crazy things sometimes. Like
Oh.
one of my favorite things was the gun in the butt. So they did a basketball. They kept talking shit about each other playing basketball, and they're like, "Well, whoever wins gets a gun. Whoever loses gets a gun up the butt."
What?
And then they actually recorded their actual basketball game, Big J Okerson versus Louis J Gomez, and it was like so bad and hard to watch. And like only one shot was made, and that was the game winner for Louis J Gomez. So Big J had to get a gun up his butt. That's like the peak of podcasting. It's all downhill from here.